Back at the turn of the 20th century, when people used dirt roads for their horse and buggies, a man named Alexander Winton decided to take a chance on this new and developing invention, the motor car. But change has always been fought across time and cultures, and making Americans fall in love with the devil's wagon would take a publicity stunt that, quite frankly, changed the future of the United States. It gave birth to the first American cross-country road trip. Join us tonight as we dive into this road trip, as well as some personal stories, Route 66 ghosts, and memorable things we've seen from our vehicles.
Welcome to Who Are You? Curious Stories of Family Lore. I'm Wietze.
And I'm Sam Ivy.
And this is episode 19.
Damn, is it 19 already?
Yeah, episode 19. Insert title here. I don't have a title or an intro script yet as of recording this, but you guys just heard it. How is it? Was it good? You guys excited? So hopefully. Sometimes I record it before, sometimes I don't. And this one I did not. So, here we go. Today we're going to be talking about the history of road trips, the American quote-unquote road trip, but also some spooky history that goes along with road tripping as well.
Road tripping.
We've broken it down. Sorry, what did you say?
I said, haha, road tripping.
Road tripping. That would be a whole nother episode. We're going to kind of just spend a little bit of time talking about the history of automobiles, which is a topic I never thought I would be researching. I learned things that, like, I was like, what am I doing? Like, you'll see. And I'll be like, this is one of those facts where I was like, is this going to be interesting? And then you and I conversed and made it interesting. So planned some stuff.
Hell yeah.
Then we're going to talk about some of our road trips, one we did together, and some other personal stories. And then we're going to talk about Route 66, because I have what kind of spurred this was your idea, this episode. You brought this up. And I didn't really think I had any super interesting road trips, and then I started thinking back, and I do have a couple. You have definitely some awesome, crazy, weird trip, like interesting things that you have seen while road tripping.
It's never a dull moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so
Every
we're going to talk
trip has
about
its own unique thing.
Yeah, and so we're going to talk about some of those things. And speaking of road trips, if you have any road trip stories, it can be really any story, but as we do topics, we'll throw it out there, like submit a road tripping story, and you can win one of these hexes back here. These are all hand painted by me, designed by me. This one right here is designed after a Jacob Zook design, a welcome hex, designed after this one right here.
Hell yeah,
so
dude.
It's like a mini version of that. So, can win these just by submitting a story to WRU.
We knew that was gonna happen.
I don't even know if I should cut that out.
I wouldn't.
I don't even know.
Welcome hex is like perfect. It's like, obviously not giving me away. I stay.
Yeah. So okay, that one is not, obviously. That was gonna be the original one that I was gonna give away, and then I felt like I shouldn't give it away, so I made this one, which is a lot bigger, to give away. And so that welcome hex literally is like, no, I'm yours. It does not. So sorry, guys. Hold on. I need to get that. Oh my god, that's so crazy.
That was funny and uncanny timing. Like, as your finger's pointing at it, it just drops.
I can't. Yeah. So these are just temporarily hung up for those watching. I don't know if we're making a video, but we're gonna have at least short segments that I'll
I don't know. I
post.
feel like after that part, we should definitely have it be like a blooper. Like,
Yeah, that's gonna exist somewhere. But this one just decided that it's gonna stay. But they're 3D. Well, some of them are. This one is. This was the first one I ever made. So
yeah,
he wants to stay.
he is yours. Whatever.
Yep. So I'm okay with that. But there's, I keep making them and basically submit a story. We'll see if this will stay up here now. Traditionally, these are hung by being nailed into the wall, so if they were actually up, they wouldn't fall. If that falls again, I won't hang it back up, but it does look pretty. Anyways, let's get into the history of the American quote-unquote road trip. 123 years ago, a retired doctor from Vermont, who was also from a super rich family, decided that he was going to take a bet when I'm not really sure of where he was or why he took this bet. He had heard about the quote-unquote automobile. This was 123 years ago, so 1903.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so this is when people were still horse riding, horses and carriages,
Yeah.
buggies, trolleys, and there was this group of people, different groups of people. I say groups of people, but I guess dudes, these men, were trying to invent cars. There had already been an invention of like a motorized bike kind of thing going on that was really loud. It wasn't really quite a car. I don't know the name of it because that wasn't the one that these guys were going to drive.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about the very first road trip. And this was a road trip between that Vermont doctor that I mentioned. His name was Horatio Jackson. Or Horacio. Might be Horacio. There was a movie about this that came out, which propelled, cars into fame as well. But it was Horacio Jackson and Sewall Crocker. And he was a mechanic, Sewall Crocker. And he was not a race car driver, but a driver. So he would drive the early automobiles. Basically what you had at this time in 1903, the cars kind of looked like, I have a picture here for you.
Okay.
On my phone. But they didn't have tops. So, the like old metal cars with like the really big wheels that you'd climb up in and like the sides were open? That's what they looked like. So, I just took pictures of the other stuff. I didn't take a picture of this on here. That's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, we can always put a picture in with the post or something.
Yeah, I will. I'll put it in the post or in the video if I make it. But basically the cars were open. They were very, very early, so the tires were super thin. There weren't mechanics all over the United States. People weren't driving cars. In fact, at this time, most people hated automobiles.
Yeah.
They called them the devil's wagon.
Yeah, because it was something new. It was a culture shock.
Oh, yeah. And they scared the horses. So when you had somebody who had one of these cars, a Winton, I forget the guy's first name, but he was basically one of the early manufacturers or engineers or the person that was trying to make cars. His last name was Winton. So this car that was taken across country was a Winton. And this was named after the guy that was developing these cars. And Horatio was bet $50 that he couldn't cross the country in this Winton. And this was really, I think the guy's name was George. Hold on. I gotta look it up because somebody maybe who's listening knows.
Somebody listening could be related.
Yeah, that's true. The Winton Motor Carriage Company was pioneered in the United States. It was an automobile pioneer based in Cleveland, Ohio. And also, a lot of this stuff going on happened in New York. Like, there was a lot of people racing from Syracuse, New York to Albany, New York, and back and forth. So when I was researching this, I was like, oh, this is kind of close to home.
That's right.
Winton, I'm trying to find his name. Alexander Winton. That's what it was.
Ooh.
Alexander Winton. He looked like this.
He looks like an Alexander.
Yeah, he does. He really does. This is the car. It was the Winton motor carriage.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like what you would see in like the old school movies and yeah.
Yes. So that's what they were crossing the country in for $50. He was like, hey, Alexander Winton was like, hey, Horatio, Mr. Jackson, retired Vermont doctor who came from a really rich family, by the way, and he married a super rich girl. So he got to retire early, and that's why he could just do what we're talking about.
He did
he was
rich
still
guy
relatively,
things.
yeah, he was still relatively young. So the other reason why people hated the cars was because they were loud. They scared the horses, like I said, but they also produced a lot of fumes and dust. So it just pissed people off. People were like, get your devil's wagon out of here. So this was a way for Alexander Winton, but also later on Henry Ford and the Olds, the guy who started Oldsmobile, so these household names. They were racing each other around, but this was a way to get the public to notice cars and to make them like them.
Okay.
And it worked. It worked. So they started in San Francisco, and they had no maps. They had to ask for help, and they had to pack for survival. Like, imagine going camping, but also having to bring gas and extra tires and the tools for the car, but literally then every single thing you need to survive, to sleep, to eat, to cook, emergency
extras
stuff.
in case like you get stuck. Like,
they brought rubber suits, axes, shovels. They brought a Kodak camera, which is cool.
That's cool.
I meant to look up what type of Kodak camera. What type of Kodak camera was used on first road trip? The Kodak Brownie.
I knew it was gonna be a brownie.
Yes. So it was a Kodak Brownie, which is awesome. So a Kodak Brownie was used on the first road trip, cross-country road trip. All right, where was I? So they left San Francisco on May 23rd, 1903. Aw, cute. And they wanted to avoid deserts and mountains because, their car that they were in.
Plus, it's their first road trip, so who knows if the car can even withstand or handle that. Like, they're putting it to the test.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, other smaller trips had been attempted, but this was, like, the first one from San Francisco all the way to New York.
Yeah.
They on their way, they acquired a bulldog, and they named him Bud. And they got him goggles because of the dust and stuff as they were driving. And so he became like this super cute figure that would draw people in when they would come through town. People would see this bulldog that looked all pouty wearing these goggles, and they'd be like, what are these guys doing? So it was also like a way to be like, look, cars aren't so bad. Bud loves cars.
I mean, that would probably sell me on it back in the day.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'd be like, what? I want a car so I can put goggles on my dog. Like, that would be that would catch a lot of people, and it did. Then you have people talking about this bulldog wearing goggles in this automobile, and then they're like, well, what are they doing? Well, they're going across the country. You can go across the country? And their goal was to do it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So all this stuff is making people want cars. Long story less long. They became famous. And it worked. It helped automobile manufacturers get notoriety, funding, people's interest in cars peaked. And then
It was like an early stage of like propaganda almost.
Yeah, yep. And then another thing, after this happened, Alexander Winton, he had lost some races, so he was like embarrassed, and
Oh.
his cars weren't doing well. And he had Henry Ford, before he started his own manufacturing company for cars, had
Hmm.
requested a job with Winton, Alexander Winton,
That's
and he was like,
crazy.
no. Yeah, he was like, no. So then, because of that rejection, Henry Ford was like, I'll just start my own company. And yeah, then Henry Ford later on raced Winton and beat him. So Winton was embarrassed. So his attempt to like regain notoriety was, one, the cross country trip, getting a record broken for the first cross country trip. But also he raced the dude that would start Oldsmobile. Somebody Olds, his first name I can't remember. But
Okay.
their race took place in Florida, and now is where the Daytona 500
Holy
exists,
shit.
and that's the fact. Yeah, but that's the fact where I was like, why am I doing this research?
That's fair. But still, I like the way that it
I
all eventually
never.
like ties and trickles down.
Yes. And we actually, when I was a kid, went on a road trip to Florida, and we went to the Daytona 500 track, and I met Dale Earnhardt. Or no, Jimmer did. I don't think I went. My brother met, like, I stayed home with my aunt and cousin, and we did other stuff.
Yeah,
But
because
he
you've
went
never
to
been
the
into racing.
Daytona. Yeah, I didn't care. But he loved Jeff Gordon, so he got Jeff Gordon's autograph. Dale Earnhardt was still alive, so he got Dale Earnhardt's like autograph. We we used to watch Daytona 500 in my house, but I was doing coloring or something else. Didn't care, truthfully. But it's
I mean,
cool
that's
to
fair.
know.
It's very similar in my house too. Like we had the guy that lived in our basement, Jimmy, who like always loved watching the races, that one specifically. And like I would be in the background playing with like Polly Pockets or something, and like trying to get everybody's attention, but they're like, "Shut up, Sam!" I'm like, "It's just going
I love Polly Pockets.
in
So that's kind of the history. After that, people wanted cars. They started wanting to go on road trips. And so then, well, why go on road trips other than having a car? Well, you need places to go.
circles."
So places along like Route 66, before there were paved highways, once highways started being built and people started traveling more and cars started to become more of the norm, Route 66 pops up. So now you have the American road trip, going to motels, going to drive-ins, going and getting souvenirs, gas
Mm-hmm.
stations, all like crazy like exotic places to stay, all became part of the Americana folk. I keep saying folk, but Americana road trip.
Yeah, I mean, it's a natural progression of things.
But
But it's
also,
crazy to, oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead. No, you're
I was
good. Go
gonna
ahead.
say, it's crazy to think of like how it started out with like one solo road basically, and how
Hmm.
the roads, the networking system, the road trips have progressed in such as like chaotic intertwining of all of these different ways and paths to like get to places.
Yeah, they have a road that goes all the way. It's Highway 1. It
Hmm.
goes all the way. I don't exactly know where it starts. I feel like it starts in New York, but it
Hmm.
goes all the way down to Key West, Florida, and you like drive 7 miles just over open water.
That's fucking insane to me.
And if you live on those islands and a hurricane is coming, that's the only road you can leave from.
Yeah, no,
Wow. Scary. Scary.
spooky.
So, road trips are great, but there are some really scary, speaking of scary, highways and roads, because the United States stretches over such a vast variety of terrain, which is exactly why this first road trip, they wanted to avoid those deserts and those mountains. Their tires popped so many times that they used ropes, they used inner tubing, they had to patch it up. At one point, they just rode on the wood.
Yeah.
They did whatever they had to do. People would mislead them. Like, they would ask for directions and people would give them different directions
Oh
so that they would
no.
drive past their family members so their family members could see an automobile. Some facts I forgot. Because we have terrifying roads in our country,
Yeah.
and we could do a whole deep dive into like terrifying roads to like avoid for both like geographic dangers of cliffs and curves and ice to haunted and
Yep.
spooky weird things, which kind of leads us into our next section of conversation. Route 66. I've been on Route 66, not the whole thing though. And I completely forgot about this story until you were talking to me. So when I went halfway through Route 66, starting in Kansas City, Missouri. And I didn't look up anything spooky at the time going through. I was more looking for oh my god, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
What is that? I wasn't looking for anything spooky at the time. I was more looking for Americana, abandoned places, like, because, you know, Route 66 is part of the golden age of road trips. It's when everybody was road tripping, everybody was going. There was this place in Oklahoma. It used to be a swimming hole.
Yeah.
And it had the like a whale. It's the famous like Oklahoma whale. And I really wanted to see that. And along the way to get to that, we got super lost. Somewhere along the way, like Route 66 is confusing because it does break up and you have to get off. And so that was our next stop. But somewhere in Joplin, like I wanted to stop and see that too because
Yeah.
Janis Joplin.
As you should.
Right? So I was like, well, we gotta go there. And so it was starting to get dark. It was the type of dark, like, time of day where the trees were all black and silhouetted. And the sun was going down. And I remember seeing something ahead. We had spent some time, we had turned around a bunch, we were lost, but we were heading, well, the sun was setting. I think the sun was setting behind us at this point. So I don't know which direction we were looking in. That's so cute. So if it was behind us, we were looking east maybe. And that's important because it wasn't the sun setting, because that was behind us. And we look and I see what I think is a train.
Yeah.
Coming. And so I'm like, oh, it looks like it's coming like not directly at us because there are like trees in the way. So I was like, but that's weird because how would we see the front of the train unless you're like standing right in front of it? And it seemed really far away.
Yeah.
And then it started to like slightly change color and turn like greenish. Like it was orange, yellow, like a typical like lantern color light.
Yeah.
But then it turned like a green, and then it almost started to like split, but it like started to wave. Like a wow, wow, wow without the sound. And then it like amoebaed. Like it had like a liquid quality to it. Which is weird if it's a light. But then again, I was like, oh, it's far away. My eyes suck, you know?
Yeah.
But then it like split into two. And like both of the things like moved separately from another. So I was like, oh, is it a reflection on a car? And so I was like, hey, do you see this, to my friend that I was with? And they want to remain anonymous. Do you see this? And they were like, yes. And like we were coming up with, oh, maybe it's like because it had been warm and now it was kind of cold.
Yeah.
So
You
maybe
guys
it was
trying
like
to justify
steam.
rationalize it.
Yeah. Then that was it. That was the end of it. It was quick. It was weird. It was there. It was bright. It went away. It came back. By the time we had turned and we're back on Route 66, you know, it was like gone because it was like 20 minutes away, or 15 to 20 minutes from the time we got off the like Route 66 and explored Joplin and came back, and we had seen it somewhere in that time frame. So, and I just remember it because I was like, and I didn't remember it at first. This was an afterthought because when I started researching for this podcast, I found this story of this crazy phenomena in Joplin. And I was like, oh my god, I saw that. So let me read to you what this thing is. So this is called the Ghost Light of Joplin. And before I get into it too much, something I wanted to mention, there's this phenomenon that when you are away or you are traveling or you are in an unfamiliar place, but for a reason of like adventure, exploration, there's this feeling called high strangeness.
Okay.
The feeling of being somewhere unfamiliar, so you long for home, but the call of the adventure keeps you going. It's a melancholy ache mixed with the excitement of potential, and it creates a high strangeness sensitivity to energies that would otherwise go unnoticed. So you become more in tune to
Yeah.
unfamiliar energies because you're not used to their frequencies. So you see things that you miss things in your average environment because you're so familiar
Yeah.
with their frequencies, because
That
we're
makes
all
sense.
just energy, so I was like, oh, I was very in tune to this light. So and this says that it's basically it's off of Route 66. It's off of it. So it's in that general area I was talking about, Joplin. So it's off this specific highway that I don't know if that's the road we were on, but so I can't confirm 100% that I saw what is called the Ghost Light of Joplin. Some people call it the Spook Light.
Like,
Yeah, the Spook Light, which it is spooky. So it's usually described as a bobbing ball of fire, varying in size from a baseball to a basketball. I mean, we were so far away from it, it looked like a pin,
yeah.
and I could barely tell like what it was doing. But it's typically orange, but it has been seen changing colors, and I'm like, I saw two. I saw, but it wasn't orange. I saw yellow, so maybe orange, but
Yeah,
then
but you
green,
said you were also
and it
far
was
away.
right. It's been seen dancing, spinning, and if you start to get close to it, it will disappear. Nobody can get close to it. And there is, like, I guess, a road where if you're on the road, it's straight
Yeah.
ahead of you. But I remember there being, like, trees and stuff in the way, so I don't feel like I was on the road looking at it. And it was fast. Like, it didn't hang out. It's not like it stayed there. It did go away. But apparently it isn't it isn't there all the time. It only comes out at night, but it's typically dark, like completely dark. So it wasn't completely dark when I saw it. So maybe it wasn't, but how bizarre that this is a whole phenomenon. And I swear, like it
That's
was
what, yeah.
so weird. So legends and folklore surrounding this that it could potentially be. It could be a lost miner. So, this miner was mining, and when they were gone, their cabin was raided by Native Americans who were there, and his wife and son were missing, or his children. And so it's said to be him looking for his lost family with a lantern. And when you try to approach him, he thinks that you are the Native Americans coming to get him too, so he runs and hides.
Turns it off type deal, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Another tale is that it is actually an Osage Indian chief who is decapitated and he's searching for his head, and he holds a lantern to guide his way. That's terrifying.
Yeah, that is.
Excuse me? Why was he actually decapitated, excuse me?
And where did his head go?
This is a picture. This is a picture of the light, kind of. I don't know if it's the real. I'm not going to show that. I don't actually know. That it says it's the picture, but it could just be somebody taking a picture of a light. It's also been known as the Tri-State Spook Light. And oops, sorry. I wanted to talk about more of the legends and lore, but then we're gonna give some scientific, explanations as well.
Yeah.
The final story, I knew there was one more, and the other story is that it could potentially be, or it's a folk story, a folk tale, that it is two Native American Indians who fell in love, and for whatever reason they couldn't be together, so they jumped off the nearby cliff to their deaths, and it's their souls intertwined and dancing. That's why sometimes they split,
Okay.
but they are together forever, and so they like it's
Internal
like
dance.
them being
Yeah.
together, but they want to be alone. So if you approach them, they hide because they
They
spent
still
their
gotta
whole
hide
life
their
not
love.
being able
Yeah.
to. Yeah. But
It's like tragic
scientific
beauty.
and right? I know. Like, honestly, if your love is so powerful in this life and you decide, like, you can't be together,
Mm-hmm.
that you would rather just not live, and so you
Yep.
guys together jump off a cliff to your deaths, if if that was strong enough love, who's to say that you can't control the transmutation of your energy afterwards? If
Or
your
the fact
will
that
is strong
you
enough, like,
like the fact that such a tragic, high-strung, emotional, energy-based event happened around in that area. So yeah, your energy's gonna be permanently marked there, at least some of it, not all of it.
yeah. Well, and it goes back to like making these hexes too. Like, it's intention. It's
Mm-hmm.
whatever your intention is, your will. If you are in control of your will and your intuition, and you are powerful in that and owning it, and you insert or incant that will upon things, anything is possible.
Yep.
And if you're gonna end your own life, excuse me, sorry, trigger warning. I probably should start doing those. Jeez. Trigger warning on our whole entire podcast every single time. Just
Trigger
assume
warning all my
that
life.
there's right, like there's gonna be triggers everywhere, probably at least once in every episode, and I'm terrible about mentioning them because I dissociate when
Same.
I'm triggered. So, so scientific theories of this absolutely tragic possibility. Apparently this has been seen obviously way more since the invention of automobiles and the increase in American road trips, or I say American, United States road trips.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many Native American legends surrounding this light because the terrible Trail of Tears, which is a whole nother topic and is a very, very sad part of our history. But
Mm-hmm.
during that time, in 1836, the Native Americans who were being forced their way across, they saw that light and they mentioned it. And so it's been documented all the way back to 1836, this light being there. So it couldn't be headlights or automobile
Yeah.
lights, as some theories claim. It also couldn't could potentially, excuse me, another theory is that it could be natural gas escaping and then reflecting off the atmospheric particles, and depending on where you are, you'll
Mm-hmm.
see it almost like a mirage.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that, but not.
What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say like it's plausible, but not the most plausible theory so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Another kind of spooky theory is fairies
Yeah.
dancing, will o' the wisps, which I believe are Irish fairies.
Yep, they
And
are.
why they would be in Missouri or Oklahoma, I'm unsure. But apparently, maybe it's them. And I've heard that they're kind of terrifying.
I heard that they're misleading. Like they look like they guide you into something tragic, is what I've always heard. But don't quote me, I haven't looked
Yeah.
that far in depth to it.
No, that sounds right. That sounds familiar. So then my question is, if it's them, why would they disappear? So they're trying to lead you in with the light, and it's pretty and it's dancing and it's like interesting. And then when you get close, it disappears because maybe their intention is to be like, have you be like, where did it go? And so you go farther in for them to get you.
Exactly.
Which is absolutely terrifying to think about because it is very pretty. But I maybe it's like, for me, my question is, why would it be Irish fairies unless like people long ago, I don't know when the first Irish immigrants came over. I know that the first German ones were in the late early 1700s, but I don't know when the first Irish immigrants came over. But anyways, see, tangents. So we talked about the natural gas theory. But the thing that kind of disproves the natural gas theory is that it still occurs even when it's raining, even when it's windy, even when it's like when the weather changes. And if it was natural gas, then if it was windy, it would affect it. It would completely like either just almost like blow it out like a flame or change it completely. And it's very, very it says that the most common time to see it is around 10 p.m. I saw it like 8:30, 9 o'clock because it was summertime.
So it was getting dark later.
Yeah. So the other thing that the most likely scientific theory, other than gas, which has been pretty heavily disproved, it's not proven, but it's not proven, is that it could be electrical atmospheric changes, almost like static electricity, where the rocks deep below the Earth's surface are shifting and grinding, creating these almost like sparks that come up, because this area is lying on a fault line. And fault lines are wild. They do weird things, fault lines. I wouldn't want to live near a fault line. I hope I don't live near a fault line. Everybody should educate themselves, myself included, on whether or not you live near a fault line.
And let us know if you do.
They're scary. Yes. So, yeah, the oldest legend about that light is the one about the Native American woman and man. So, oh, here's some more. I forgot about this, about the couple that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
This is more details that I forgot I had over here. So he was not Native American. He was what they called a young brave, which I'm not sure what that means. She was Native American. He was not. He was white. And she was Quapaw Indian. And her dad was like, "You're not marrying him." Because they asked, like, "Hey, we want to get married." And oh my gosh, maybe this is the tale, like, that inspired Pocahontas.
Because that's what it kind of sounds like.
This could be.
Know?
I will dig deeper into it. Because, her dad was like, "No, you're not going to marry him. 1, he's white, and 2, he's poor." Like, and so they eloped anyways. They just were like, "We're going to do it anyways." And they were basically tracked down, hunted, and long story, they were hunted, pursued. I thought that was said persuaded, and I'm like, why did I write persuaded? What? They were pursued by the tribe, warriors, and when they got to the
your
cliff,
family, you dishonored our clan, dude.
Yeah. And they were basically at the cliff, and the choice was face the warriors or jump off the cliff. And they were above the Spring River, and then they leaped into the river to their deaths.
And
it was shortly after this happened. Yeah. It was shortly after this happened that the light began to appear, according to legend.
Yeah, I feel like out of all your theory, or out of all the theories that you've listed, that's the one I believe the most. I don't know if it's like the hopeless romantic, tragic romantic in me or what, but I'm like, yeah, that's it. Fuck science. Like, yes, it's love. Love is the light beams.
Yeah. Here's an old black and white picture of, look how bright it is.
Yeah, dude, it does. I see what you mean about like a train coming at you.
Yeah, that's like, I thought it was a train.
That's crazy.
I didn't see two lights like that, like a big one and a little one. It was like
Yeah.
one that like split, but either way. So that was that's kind of like the history of road trips, a brief development of Route 66, and then that crazy encounter that I had. But
And the fact that
do
you
you have any?
forgot
I have
about
other
it.
stories.
I think it's
Yeah,
funny that you forgot about
because
it,
it was
and then just
so.
like it's a random research that you're doing for a random topic that we decided to do, and all of a sudden it unlocked the fact that you've had this experience and that other people have
Yeah,
too.
it's pretty cool, and that makes me believe in like that more because I love when that happens because it's like validation to me
Yeah. Well,
that,
it
oh,
makes us
there's
all feel like
something
we're not
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I have other stories, like spooky stories, but you have some crazy ones that I think people would find super interesting because I think they're awesome. So, you want to talk about some of your like road trip stories?
Road trips have always been a thing for me, like since like being a little kid. Whether it was my family on either my mom or dad's side, depending on, who wanted to take a trip that year. We were always going to like Florida.
Yeah,
We used to drive my uncle to Vermont to drop him off for his Air Force school. Like my mom still to this day loves driving. Like she is a road trip woman. But every time that I'm in a car, whether it's with family, friends, significant others, and we're doing a road trip, there is never a dull fucking moment. With me, you're bound to see something weird and wonky that's going to happen. A few
yeah.
times, because me and my boyfriend Christopher have gone to, like I said, Florida. We've gone to Corpus Christi, Texas. We've driven to a bunch of places. Can't remember the exact trip, whether it was Florida or Texas, but either way, one of the long road trips where we're driving down the road, bullshit, and this, that, and the other. One time we were driving by and we watched a car literally ignite in flames as we were driving by. Like there was some
Just
smoke,
like,
but as soon as we passed it, it's like boom, and I was like, "Holy, yep."
did you ever follow up? Do you know what happened?
And that's the thing is there were no cops there. It wasn't like it was an accident. It was just a solo car. I don't know if they just happened to pull right
Oh
on the
my,
side of the road right when we were coming by, but it was like some smoke. I was like, "Oh, that's not good." I was like, "All right." And then as we're driving by, like I'm on the passenger side, it's like, and I'm like, "Holy sh!" I was like, "All
what the
right, I
Did you
promised
see
them."
anybody?
They were outside the car. There wasn't anybody in the car, thankfully.
Holy fuck.
But there
I
was
thought
like
you just saw this like abandoned car with nobody.
no,
Just the
they
fucking
were.
lights up in
I saw
flames.
them later because I think they were like standing in the ditch or something on the phone. Because like they were not on the road, they were not where you could see them immediately. So hopefully they were calling the officers. But we were headed somewhere, so we did not stop
Damn.
until we were like, shit, we're gonna go before traffic goes up.
Yeah. Weren't you going to a festival or something?
More than likely, we were either going to a festival or we were headed to Miami for a card tournament or we were going for a wedding. Like any of the trips that we've taken recently has always been some hooligan shit. Except
Yeah.
far places. Um, one of the
That's
tragic
crazy
things
as
we've
fuck though.
seen,
What the
and I think it was on our way to Texas. I can't remember exactly where, because I mean, coming from Maryland to Corpus Christi, it's like 24-hour straight drive.
I have a friend who lives in Corpus Christi. Love
That,
you, Thelma.
but
Anyways, oh my god, sorry.
yeah,
ADHD brain, my
it was
bad.
more of a tragic story. Like once again, kind of the same setup. This time there was an accident, but like must have been just fresh. Like cops were there. They didn't have everything like it wasn't stop traffic. We were still going, but we were going slow. And I don't know
Yeah.
what possessed me to look over. I mean, other than, when you drive by an accident, you're always drawn to that sick curiosity. But I really wish I never looked over at this
Yeah.
one. It was like a
Oh no.
big
What?
ass,
I don't
yeah,
know this one.
it was like a big ass truck from like what I could see. Big ass truck. There was a motorcycle like in pieces. And I thought that's what I saw all the
Oh.
pieces were. And then when I looked closer, there were body parts that were spread. Like I did not see the
Oh
accident
my
initially
god.
happen. But I was in a dead sleep when I just woke up because I wake up when the motion of the car kind of changes. Like I'm pretty sensitive to that stuff. And I just
Yeah.
happened to wake up and look over. I'm like, oh damn, that bike's wrecked. And I'm like, wait, that's a leg. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so that made me look around. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
what?
god.
why? Not necessarily why, but I was just like,
I was gonna
how?
fuck.
And I was
I
like,
was gonna
"Hi."
say, did you like look it up? Did you look up anything after that?
No, because I didn't know what road we were on. I wasn't sure like what state we were in because, like I said, I was asleep. So I just happened to like wake up. Chris wasn't paying attention because he was focusing on the traffic, and I was like in my
Yeah.
hate daze. I was like, am I just so like morbid in the head that like I imagined it? Was it actually there? Like I was trying to justify it, and then ironically, it wasn't until we were starting to talk about road trips that I remember that I even saw that in the first place.
Yeah, because your brain was probably like, bye.
It's like we're gonna put
It's
that
like,
Pandora's
no
box. We'll leave that
thanks.
later. So that was kind of a
Yeah,
tragic
that,
event.
holy shit.
Um,
How sad. Like, how sad. Because obviously that person did not survive. So,
right? Or maybe it was
rest
my
in
brain
peace
making
to
it
that
up. Well, I
person.
don't know. I can't confirm or deny, but that's where I saw. Now something less
Yeah.
tragic, but
Well,
also funky.
damn.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. I was just saying RIP to that person. Like, that's so sad. Oops, I keep putting this in the frame.
But yeah, something less tragic, a little more just like weird and random. So to give you a little disclaimer on Chris, as much as I'm into ghost and horror and spooky, he is equally as into aliens and other life forms and other living beings and things like that. So,
Yeah,
and we were driving, and I honestly don't even
that's
know if this was like
awesome.
necessarily a road trip or if we were just going to like DC or Virginia. So it was like 3 or 4 hour drive. Either way, mini road trip.
That's still, you're literally going to a different state, so that's a road trip.
um, but yeah,
Both of
so
those things you just mentioned are different states than where you live.
that's fair.
That's a
That's
road trip.
fair. But yeah, we were driving and it was kind of in like that same nighttime setting that you were talking about with your story where it's like summer shush. It's summertime. The sun is starting to go down later in the evening, so you kind of got like that weird haze, but it's getting dark, right? No sun, like it should be like past the tree
Yeah.
lines, like you're not seeing shit. And we're looking at the sky, and we looked at it for a good 5 minutes, and there's just like these, like the sky kept getting lit up. Like it wasn't just a section, like it was like the whole area above us and around us kept turning greens and blues, but like bright. Like
Oof.
it was weird, and it happened once. We're like, okay, and then it happened like 2 or 3 more times, and then the moment I get my phone out to record, it stops. Because Chris is like, "Oh, record this," and
Oh
some
my
aliens,
god.
like
And it didn't do it
they're
again?
it didn't do it again. And I was like, we were sitting there like, what was that? He's like, the only thing I could think of, because he's also an electrician, is he's like, like how the lights happen when like a big power box or power supply like explodes or burns out, it will do that like bright light. He's like, but normally it does like one and done. He's like,
Mm.
this bitch went on like 3 or 4 times and it lit up the whole sky, dude. Not like the right corner and the left stayed black. It was all around us lit up.
That's weird. Could it have been like heat lightning?
Oh, that's the thing is I know what he like it looked like when you're doing like a play or something and somebody fucked with the lights and accidentally turned them from dim to like all the way up and it had to go right back to dim. Like I thought I was
That
gonna be probed
that's
or
like
something. I was not ready.
you guys are about to be abducted and they were like, wait, let's think about this, Steve."
Yeah, literally. Thanks, Cole.
They're like, "Are you ready?" "No, Steve."
It was one of those like one of the things that just kind of stay in my brain is being like, okay, okay then. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I believe in other
Yeah,
life
that
forms. I believe in
that is
other
weird.
energy, but it was more like, okay, not today. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. Oh my god. There's always something like I've seen like Brad and I were driving back home from one of his shows that was really far away. It was still in New York, but it was a
Hmm.
road trip enough. Um, and a white deer just leaps out in front of us, like an
Dude.
albino deer. And it was so spooky. Another time, that one was not spooky as it was more like, oh, mystical. I
Yeah,
was like, oh my
yeah.
god, a white deer. They're like supposed to symbolize like protection and like a wise spirit. It was just so cool. And he had just performed this like beautiful like show. It was like a hippie festival in the
Yeah.
woods. And it was a couple days long and we were just like so tired and sunburnt from camping and he played music and I was taking a ton of pictures, had all my film cameras, we were dirty,
Yeah.
and it was just like this white deer went by, and it just was this really powerful moment where I was like, dang, like we're doing what we're supposed to do. This feels like we're on the right path.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
almost getting
another
like that
time,
confirmation.
on the flip side, yeah. But then on the flip side of that, one time we were coming back from home in Oneida to here in Rochester, but we were like down by Sylvan Beach, so by some or Verona Beach, so wooded area with some water close
Mm-hmm.
by. And we see this fucking thing, Sam. Maybe I've told you about this. Um, I think we saw a chupacabra,
Oh shit.
like a full blown chupacabra, because it's dark out and it's kind of rainy, but not. It's like misty, very
Mm-hmm.
slightly, so like view is not super obstructed. And we see this thing. It runs out, and my brain looks at it, and it's running out in front of our car, and it just keeps going. But it goes so fast, and we're driving, so it's like a split second. But as I am seeing it, my brain's like, that looks like a wiener dog with 6 legs, but 4 of them are just sagging in the middle.
That's wild.
And it like had this weird waddle,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so fucking just fast. Brad and I both were like, what the fuck was that? We still don't know. Like, part of us were like, oh, it could have been an opossum with her
Uh-huh.
babies hanging.
Yeah.
It's the
But to
only
go
thing I
that
can think of,
fast.
which would be just as it went so because it came out right at the time a deer always comes out, right before you smash that deer with your vehicle.
Yep.
That's when this thing came out, but it was fast enough to get by.
That's fucking crazy.
If it was an opossum with her babies, it wouldn't have
Do
been
you
able
think it
to run
was
that fast.
a
And it was
possum, or
big.
do you think it was a skinwalker?
That I wish you hadn't said. You can't say that. You
Why?
can't say that.
Why?
Because if you say that, god damn it, there's windows everywhere. You cannot say
Sorry.
you can't. So Native American culture, like you don't say that. You will summon them. They're terrifying. When that happened, I wouldn't even suggest it out loud. I didn't even suggest it out loud, but it is
But
the
you thought about
first
it. But you thought
fucking
about it.
thing
Yep.
I thought of. But we settled with chupacabra, Sam. But
Okay,
it was
Chewy.
like, cause it was like a fleshy color, kind of. Like it reminded me of a naked mole rat texture color
Orange.
kind of thing. Slimier. Slightly slimier though.
Creepy, dude.
I'm surrounded by windows. What the fuck? So, but yeah, road trips. We've always gone road tripping, and so that's why I thought this would be a good topic. My mom was raised going camping, which often required road trips to go. So she always told ghost stories of camping. So that's
Mhm.
going to be a topic we'll talk about in the future. But the trips getting there are just as important. And
Oh yeah,
I
I mean the
think
bonding moments and
sometimes we
stuff.
take for granted. Oh yeah. And sometimes we take for granted that we have cars, that not everybody, but we have public transportation. We take for granted that there's so many cars now, that there's so
Mhm.
many roads and ways to be interconnected. Not everybody has the means, especially in this day and age, but
Mhm.
I think taking the time to appreciate some of the good things about the Americana and thinking back to how far we've come with things like this to distract us from what's going on in the world right now.
100%. I also have to feel as though, like, especially for if we have any of our like younger viewers and things, a good thing to keep in mind is don't, you know, take advantage of the trips. I know when you're young, you want to hang out with your friends, you want to do your own thing, and you don't think it's cool. You're gonna go take these family vacations or have to be stuck in the car with your mom, your dad, your brothers. But years down the line afterwards, that's all you're gonna crave when they are no longer there to do that with you. Like, I can't tell you how many, like, memories of,
Yeah.
not spooky shit, but sitting in the car having so many weird conversations with my grandma, my aunt, my dad, getting in depth, knowing, finding out stories, sitting there singing fucking "Bye, Bye, Miss American, Bye." Like, that song, anytime it came on, that's our road trip song. Everybody in the car would be belting it. Like, little things like that at the time when you're doing
Yeah.
it, you're not putting the importance into until it's not there anymore. And you're like, holy shit, like what I would do to be
Yep.
13 back in the car again with my headphones in, pissed off, but still there with those people doing those things.
Yeah. One time I flew to Seattle, Washington at the very last minute. Jamie calls me up the day before and she says, Jamie's been my friend since I was 12. We met because we were both babysitting, basically kids of the same age, and so we hung out. But long story short, she's always been the type of person that will just impromptu drop bombs on you. And this particular one was, she calls me up, I'm in Colorado, and she says, hey, do you want to fly to Seattle? I'll pay for your plane ticket. I need somebody to drive back to New York with me, and I need to be there basically in an impossibly quick amount of time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it alone. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Sure. It's like, when do you want me to leave? And she's like, well, I can get you a flight, but it leaves in 2 hours. And I was like, oh, fuck it. Sure. So I packed a book bag, drove to the airport, dropped my car off, whatever. Got there just in time. This flight was about to leave. I'm running. It's like last call for boarding. So I get there. I land at midnight. I go out because I didn't even check a bag. I just had a book bag. She picks me up and the road trip started. After my flight, the road trip started. I didn't even see the state of Washington in the light of day. And I need to tell this story. I know that we are already over an hour and we were like, let's keep this to 30 minutes. We didn't do that. But this, I need to tell you this. We can end on a comical note,
yeah, please.
because this is a story that needs to be told. I have no idea why she needs to be back to New York. Because another thing about Jamie is she tells you just enough information. Just enough. Like she said, I need to get back to New York in 25 hours. Okay, that's a really specific number. Okay. So I'm here and we're going, and she's dead set. She's caffeined up. We stop, we see Mount Rushmore. That's fun. So we along the way we're stopping at places. And then we're in the middle of going, and our plan, we just conversed that we're going on a big stretch right now. We're just gonna go.
Yeah.
And then when we get tired, we're gonna stay somewhere. On this long stretch, Jamie takes an exit. And I'm like, what are you doing, Jamie? And she's like, oh, I'm gonna get a puppy real quick. I'm fucking sorry?
What?
You're gonna get a puppy real quick? We're in a Jeep Wrangler. It's the back seat's filled to the brim with Jamie's stuff. It's Jamie's vehicle. And it's raining. It's so stormy. And her windshield wipers are about to fall off. And I'm like, do you think we should stop and get some windshield wipers? And she's like, no, they're fine. They'll make it. I'm like, they don't look like they're going to make it. She's like, they're going to make it. I'm like, okay, noted. They're going to make it. The whole time they're flapping everywhere. Because she's like, oh, it's not supposed to rain the whole time. It didn't stop raining the whole time.
Yeah.
And so we pull off. We get this puppy. And I wait in the car the whole time, and she goes into this house, and she's just in there for a half an hour. And I'm like, where the fuck are we? How does she know that there's a puppy for sale here?
Did she see a sign?
What is going on? So she brings this puppy out. It's a Chihuahua. Great. This dog ended up being very cool, by the way, in the long run. She named her Zelda, so that's kind of badass. So tiny, shaking, terrified. So I'm holding it because Jamie's driving.
Yeah.
So who's in charge of taking care of this puppy, Sam?
The
Me.
passenger princess.
Me. So Jamie's driving. I'm taking care of the puppy. I decided I don't want to hold the puppy anymore after a while. I'm like, so I put her in her because she came with a little crate and a blanket and a sweater. Yeah. Jamie got her everything. She took good care of her. She just happened to get her in a random state on a road trip with a really strict deadline. And all of a sudden, I smell what smells like the dog shit herself. like right after I put her in there. So I'm like, oh my God, oh no, she might have shit all over me. I think she shit all over me, and that's why I was returning her to her bed. Either way, shit was everywhere. And it was either shit got on me because I was holding her, or shit got on me because Jamie went to check on her and she was covered in shit and handed her to me.
Yeah. Either way, you had shit on you.
While this is happening, though, while I'm covered in shit, because we're in the car covered in shit somehow, the memory's hazy, because it's also storming outside. And it's dark as fuck, and Jamie is technically legally blind. She doesn't have her glasses on.
And the windshield wipers, man. The windshield wipers.
Oh, this is the thing, though. Right as this dog shits, the windshield wipers decide this is their fucking moment. And one of them flies off. Not both of them, thank God, but one of them. And it was the passenger one. So, but we still couldn't see shit. Like, that's dangerous. So we go to this gas station, and she's like freaking out. Understandably, I am too. I'm not making the situation any better. I'm disgusted that I'm covered in what I see as a strange dog. I don't know this dog. This isn't my dog.
I mean, you guys just met a couple hours ago and the dog decided to shit on you. So yeah, not a good first impression there, Zelda. I've
had my dog for 10 years. I still don't want him to shit on me, you know? So somehow I end up with Zelda in the bathroom of a random gas station in the middle of a torrential downpour, cleaning her and myself up, while Jamie is doing I don't remember what the fuck. I think she was dealing with the wiper situation, and I think she got another wiper, or we just made do. It's hazy, but we were clean. She cleaned out like the bed and all of that. I think that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
Which that was way more disgusting than cleaning the dog. So I think she was yeah, so it was a whole thing too, you know.
So did you guys make it to New York in her time frame with this dog?
Yeah, I mean, we got to New York and she went and did whatever she had to do, and I went and visited my family, and then I have no idea how I got back to Colorado. I literally don't know. I don't know. 'Cause yeah, either we drove to Colorado or I flew back by myself. I have no idea. Yeah. Well, that's all I have for today. A little bit of some history, a spooky tale, and some fun stories. I have more, but I'll save them. I'll save them for some other time, because there's not just like road trip stories, but just being in the car or like camping stories I'm excited to really get into. But
shit, I can tell you some festival camping stories.
Yeah, but if you have any cool stories, once again, you can win one of these hexes or one of the many others I make. Yeah, they're really cool. Each one has an incantation on the back of it with its symbolism and meaning. So all you have to do is submit a story. We're going to leave it running for a couple months. So it'll be a while before we give anything away. But I feel like anybody who listens regularly, maybe if we keep bringing it up, you guys, even if you know us in real life, just email us.
Or even if you like share us a cool story that, you know, inspires us, we might make something custom for you. You never know. You gotta throw it out there. Manifest it.
Yeah. We've had a couple submissions, which is awesome, but I'd like it to be, you know, a bigger pool so that more people can either win or make it fun.
Yeah.
It
Plus,
means
we want to
a lot
get to know you, fam.
Yeah. So we want to do this for a while, and yeah, getting to know you would be great. So, any final thoughts for the listeners, Pants?
Only final thought I can think of is enjoy even the most shitty road trips or most shitty situations that you think, because you never know what type of stories you're going to find in the end, or what, you know, mysteries are going to attach to you that you will rediscover 10 years down the line. You know?
Yeah.
Just be observant. Don't be blind to things. Everything has a meaning. Everything has a purpose. That light that you see, that flash in the sky, the freaking chupacabra running out in front of your car. It all has meaning behind it.
Dude, it's crazy. Get out there. Get on the road while you still can. Well,
Yes.
gas prices are somewhat affordable.
Before
if
we're
they
going back to
are.
horse and buggy.
Yeah, honestly. So, thanks for listening, fam.
Always keep asking yourself, who are you?
Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you?